G'day. Today I want to discuss something that we call rules of the road. In other industries, this is called soft skills. So, handyman candidates normally come from construction. And in construction, you don't work with people, you work with things. You're doing plumbing or electrical, or you're building something. When you become a handyman, you need to get used to working with people. Therefore, the requirement to teach people soft skills. Also, we must remember a lot of the people in construction, in handyman vocation, they use it as a last ditch, like it's their, they've tried everything else, nothing else worked, so this is not suddenly an appealing career. Sometimes you're not working with the highest quality of people, so I tend to want to then teach them these soft skills to make dealing with people easier and to help you with your future career. So the first thing I like to talk about is punctuality. Early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. We all know that we have dead traffic lights in Johannesburg, there's load shedding. So we all know about that. So there's no excuse anymore for being late. You have to compensate for these things. So compensate for these things. You know your staff only arrive at 7:30 at best. They all use public transport. Don't tell the client you'll be there at 7:30. Tell the client you're aiming for 8:30. If you get there 8:15, it's a bonus. If you have a meeting with a client, let's say you're going to hang a door and your appointment's for 10, don't show up at 12. And if you're going to be late, you got to let them know. But keep in mind, some people take off work so that you can come hang their door, and now you're 2 hours late. People can't just hang around and wait for you. It's very disrespectful. So stay in communication with the client if you're going to be late, and just plan your day properly. A lot of guys arrive on site and they think, okay, cool, let's look at this. Wow, this work was done horribly. Mr. Smith, this is the worst job I've ever seen. And I've been in the industry for 20 years and I've never seen this bad level of work. It happens. Sometimes you are asked your opinion about work, but when you get there, rather just keep your mouth shut. Firstly, don't bolster your own ego by talking bad about someone else's work, even if it is terrible. Secondly, maybe the client did it, and now you're insulting the client. Rather just keep your mouth shut. Don't arrive at the client's house and first thing you do is, oh, can we borrow your ladder? Oh, can we use your spade? No, they're paying you to be there, to do the work. Bring your own tools. Come prepared. It's a clear indication that you didn't plan your day properly, that you didn't plan the project properly. You make up a cut list and make sure you got all your own tools. The only thing I'll allow is cleaning, like a broom or a cleaning rag, and that shows the client that you are taking care to clean. So if you're asking them for cleaning equipment, they know you're cleaning, which is and that's another thing. Just clean up after yourself. Keep it professional. Address the client as Mr. or Mrs. Smith. And if Mr. Smith says, no, Frikkie is fine, then you call Frikkie Smith Frikkie, but don't get too familiar with the clients. Again, this is supposed to be a professional relationship, so use professional language. We learned this lesson, I learned this very early on, around bathrooms, but I would suggest always ask which bathroom you can use. Always ask, can I use a glass to drink water? Always ask, especially bathroom. A lot of people are very touchy about which bathroom to use. Just because you're working in the main bedroom doesn't mean you can just go and take a pee in the ensuite bathroom. Ask. Okay. Respect the client's property. So when you're in a client's home for a long time, you get curious. So and people tend to look around. It could be innocent, but it could not be. So and unfortunately, people won't give you the benefit of the doubt. So keep your curiosity contained. Don't go exploring the property unless your work, like you're doing an inspection or so. Don't go, just respect the client's property, do your work where you're working. I'm a non-smoker, and I can tell you, I prefer people not smoke around me. I prefer people don't smoke on my property. And even smokers would rather you don't smoke in their home. So even if the client smokes, take it outside, not on the client's property, outside. We had a guy we caught him on camera, client, found him stubbing his cigarette on a wall under a window, and then shoving the Stompy into a little crevice. And she was disgusted. So, yeah, you don't want to start your relationship out that way. This one is going to be a little controversial. Keep your noise levels down. Even if it's your culture to speak loudly, you need to respect the client's property. You're being paid to do a job again. So keep your noise levels down. Today, as you can see, we're in an empty property, so I have an opportunity to do this. So I'm not too concerned about noise levels, but you're not hearing my staff shouting and screaming because we respect these neighbors. They don't want to listen to us. We're not here to discuss the weekend sports. We're here to work. Watch your language, even if nobody's around. Imagine this scenario. You're busy putting up a ceiling and the ceiling board breaks and you fluke something terrible. You don't think the client's around or anything. Next thing, the client comes to you. My son used some foul language and he told me he heard you using it. Also, it's just like, I mean, I have my opinions about swearing, but rather just, it gives off, again, that rough and tough contract laborer kind of scenario. And we want to be professionals. We don't want to be just laborers. This is a two-parter. This is, again, going back to being professional with the client. But this one takes it a step further. Don't talk politics. Don't talk religion. Don't come and discuss the newest social issue that we have. You don't know how the client feels. Again, you're not an expert. You're supposed to be the professional handyman. If you're there to paint the house, focus on painting the house. Don't come and talk about the issue of the day. We had I guess it's the same guy. We went to a client in Bryanston, went to do a lot of paint work. He made some off-the-cuff, very ignorant remarks about COVID. She was so upset she phoned me. She had strong feelings about COVID. Obviously, I apologized and everything, and I had to phone him and say, keep your opinions to yourself. You're the handyman, not the freaking medical experts. And this woman is taking serious offense. You can say something about a political party or social justice or whatever that will annoy the client. That's not what we're there to do. Then, do not discuss your personal issues with the client. You're going to spend a fair amount of time in a client's home. I've spent sometimes 3 months in a client's home doing a renovation. You get to know those people very well, okay? You know their patterns. People get very comfortable with you, okay? But you are there to solve a problem for the client. You are not there to bring your problems to the client. It can be tempting. Like, for instance, you walk into a huge house in Dainfern or Parktown North or wherever, very nice house. You think, wow, okay, these people have money. And suddenly now you see it as a solution to your problem. It's not. The solution to your problem is providing value to people on a daily basis, over and over and over, becoming indispensable so that every time they have a problem, they phone you. That's how you're going to solve your problems. We had a guy working for us, and I went back to a project a year later that he had done, spoke to the client. We had parted ways with him, and I told her this, and she said, oh, well, then now I can call you back, because when he was here, he could not stop talking about his divorce and what a horrible person his ex was, and etc., etc. And she had more work to do, but she just didn't want to deal with him. So she's put it off, and she was actually looking for someone else. But seeing as he wasn't in the picture anymore, we got the work. And yeah, it was all because he brought too much drama to the mix. Your life is not a soap opera for others to consume. Just keep it to yourself. Okay, so your staff need to know that they are only allowed to do the work that you assign them. And this is quite important because clients will get excited. Oh, do this, do a bit of that. Can you do this? We do value add. So, for instance, if a lady needs some boxes put away, guess what? We're big and strong. We got ladders, no problem. That's fine. But let's say, for instance, you prep a wall and you want to paint it, and the client says, "No, don't worry about that paint. Just do the paint." It's like they don't know what that paint and that paint is. They don't know that you need to put the undercoats to bind everything. So if you're following the client's instructions, we still need to give the guarantee. So you just teach your guys, whenever a client approaches them with something, sorry ma'am, I'm busy with this, my boss is, I don't know, blame the boss is going to kill me. Rather speak to the boss, rather get the boss explain it to you. Okay. Always refer to the manager. One point of communication. If your client is talking to 5 different people, giving them instructions, you lose control of the situation. They don't all remember what's happening. That's not instruction. One point of contact. Appropriate cell phone use. That is also a newer thing. So when you're a site manager or a manager, you have your phone on hand because you need to be in communication with the office, with suppliers, with other clients. So it's obviously you need to be in communication. Your cell phone gets used heavily. My cell phone cooks every day. If you're painting, there's no need for you to have your cell phone. Leave it in your bag. Let's say we're putting up another ceiling, and you get a phone call and you let go of the ceiling board to answer your phone. We are not going to be friends. In fact, I don't think you're going to last very long. Rather leave it in your bag and let's support each other rather than running after our phones the whole day. You got time in the van, you got time lunchtime. We spend a fair amount of time in traffic. You've got a lot of time to use your cell phone. The tea time, lunchtime, feel free to use the cell phone, but not while we're working. For instance, okay, maintain good personal hygiene. It's not very lucky to work with someone who smells bad. I've done it. And unfortunately, I've been that person. I love garlic. And I've had people tell me, listen, this is not cool. Go easy on the garlic. So keep a tin of body deodorant in your car. In the van, we try and keep one in the cabiole. So if someone is smelling a bit, address it. Don't ignore it. Because it's not only the person you work with, it's the client. If you come there smelling like a horse's backside, it's very unpleasant for the client. It's very uncomfortable. Brush your teeth. It's nothing worse than speaking to someone and their breath is caustic. If you feel like it's stripping paint off your face. Just personal hygiene. Just because you don't notice it, this doesn't mean your client won't notice it. And then the last one is the customer is not always right. The customer is right in matters of taste. The customer likes the blue wall. That's not up to you to decide. But if the customer thinks that you don't need this pink wood primer on your wood, then the customer's wrong. You're the expert. You need to guarantee the work. So therefore, the customer is not right. And a customer who brings that up, generally we don't deal with them because hopefully we've disqualified those clients. But just don't fall for that old trope that the customer is always right. If the customer wants, like I said, a pink wall and a blue wall and an orange wall, we've done it. Great. Issues of taste. But don't let the customer dictate processes. Okay.